Is this thing on again?
See, everyone, listeners at home, that was funny because he did that for the first episode.
No, hey, I was just making sure that it was on again, like it was the first, whatever.
We 3 seconds. This recording is
Anyways,
already scuffed.
Guys,
Hello.
Don't worry about it. So, hey everyone, it's been a while.
About a year, to be exact.
Yeah, feels like
Roughly,
it. Probably.
No, literally a year. How recent? We recorded this a couple of days after A Simply Idiotic released.
Yeah.
It was no more than a couple of weeks. It was, in fact, I think it was like June 10th. No, not June 10th. It was like June 16th or something like that. So it's been roughly a year.
Yeah, I think so. I have to go check the dates on that.
Yeah.
But we're doing another ATAP Talks, podcast thingy. I don't really know what to call it. It'll be in the name, so you guys will know.
Look at the title. We'll figure it out. Future Aren and Jacob will figure it out. And the purpose of this thing is to discuss something we did last November, something we called the November releases, which was basically where we released a song every Friday of November to commemorate the anniversary of our band forming. And that's actually a crazy thing to think about, because that was in November. What was that? Is that 6 months ago?
Let me count. December, January, February, March, April, May. Wait, June. 7 months.
7 months ago. So we're almost...
Yeah, so actually the funny thing about that is you might be wondering, why are we doing this now if we did that in November? And I think...
The answer is we were busy. Screw you. We had work.
I think also because we weren't sure if we actually wanted to do this kind of thing for that, because we thought we were only going to do this type of thing for a big
Full
project,
albums.
Like an album. Because, we did this for Simply Idiotic, and then didn't really consider doing it for this, but I think it kind of... I kind of thought about it and I felt like it might actually be worth doing it for this, because this was certainly like a project on its own, because we actually like planned stuff out.
Yeah.
And it was a more elaborate thing than just dropping a song, because if we just released a song, then it wouldn't
warrant because the originally we just come out of this. We'd just come out of the 6 month long process of making our album, and we were kind of tired, and we kind of didn't know what we wanted to do after that. So we were kind of going through the summer, going through June, July, August, September, October. We kind of didn't really know what we wanted to do next. We had ideas formulating for second albums and things, but we thought we weren't really ready. So we kind of had... Should we talk about just like the conception of the releases as an idea?
Yeah, I mean, because after we released Simply Idiotic, it was kind of like, yeah, we definitely need to have like some time off before we get back to actually
album making.
Yeah, just like making songs in general. And I think, the thing that was happening was that, because I guess we'll get more into it when we talk about the actual songs themselves. I mean, there is the whole timeline there with how they were made, at what time.
Yeah.
But because after doing an album, we just didn't really know where to go next from there. I mean, we could have just kept releasing songs. We could have collated them into a bigger project. I mean, we just weren't sure.
But we had a bunch of songs. We had a bunch of song ideas that we were kind of trying to mash into a sort of album or an EP or something. We didn't know what we wanted to release next. And we kind of had this idea of, well, November's rolling around. We should probably do something for our anniversary. What if we did something... What if we took a bunch of songs that wouldn't normally fit into an album on their own, and probably wouldn't be appropriate for just like single releases? What if we took a bunch of those and made a project of releasing those to commemorate our anniversary? Just in a way that wasn't. It's not an EP. I don't
No.
think it's not an album. It's definitely not an album. It's
No,
not.
I mean, because you could. I mean, actually, there is like on our Spotify page, there is a playlist there which has all of the songs in them,
Which is pretty
just
cool.
like grouping them together. So I mean, technically, it does kind of, sort of, could technically count as an EP with the 4 songs in them, but that's not really
what
the
we made it to
intention.
intent. Yeah.
It was just about, kind of putting out a new song each week of the month, and also each song being,
Different.
wildly different
Yeah.
from each other.
The project, I think, is probably where we've gotten our most experimental. We'll get into more of that later.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, I mean,
15-minute instrumental song.
yeah, and I guess also, well, I mean, I guess now we should probably get on to talking about the songs themselves.
Yeah.
And going in the order like we did the last time. So starting with the first release that we put out, which is Star Burning, it's, definitely the most, I'd say, unique song
Yeah.
that we've ever done. And
It's a 15-minute, 46-second instrumental kind of ambient trance song. I think it takes a lot of influences. It takes a lot of influences from a lot of places. First of all, let's talk about where the idea kind of came about.
yes, I remember I sort of had this idea, and I think I had come up with this idea while we were still working on Simply Idiotic, where I thought about this piece where it was, it was a more like atmospheric. It wasn't really such a big, kind of song. It was more about of an imagery type thing.
Yeah,
And-
It's not.
And a more imaginative style of music compared to the stuff that we were working on and were gonna release then.
Yeah, the instrumental stuff. First of all, all of the songs in Simply Idiotic are great. They all follow kind of the kind of song structure of verse, chorus, verse kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I think, I mean, with some obviously interlude, it's like just me screwing around on the piano. But even Based and Cool It kind of followed that kind of structure. As
Yeah,
well.
with Star Burning, it's definitely more, spread out, like the
Yeah.
sections of the song. We kind of like think of the song in different sections, so you
There
have
were 5 sections, I think.
yeah, so the opening section was like, I guess, the first 5 minutes of it, where it's
Yeah.
like not a lot is really happening. It's just about sort of getting into the feeling of the song.
Yeah.
And then I think when the new section comes in, and that's where the kick drum. Yes.
Jinx. Yeah, the kick drum and the kind of thundering bass line that we wanted that's really sort of deep and gets sort of into your chest. We wanted the main motif of the song is these kind of held synth pads that are just at the very top. And they kind of hold and contextualize everything. I think they are what gets you kind of into a trance. We wanted it to be, obviously the song is 15 minutes, and we wanted it to get kind of repetitive after a while. At least I did. I think I wanted it to be something that gets you into like a trance-like state, or to become almost mesmerized. The bass line repeats thousands of times, probably. And it's just so repetitive and satisfying in its repetitions that it kind of it gets you into almost like a sort of it gets you in the zone. It gets you into
I feel like
trance.
it's really mostly just about getting you to really imagine, what a star on fire, a star burning, as the title says. And I think with the long length that it has, I think there's enough room there for someone to really imagine what that's like, especially as it gets more and more intense. Like, to me, the way I was kind of thinking it was that it's like getting, zooming in on it and getting
Yeah,
closer.
getting closer to the sun.
And that's why it does kind of just like step up that way. And then I guess by the end, when it goes back to how it was at the beginning, it's like zooming back out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that'd be like the music video. Just be really
Zooming
long
into the sun, yeah.
and zooming back out. It'd be just a really long thing. I mean, also
Yeah.
just like viewing it from different angles too. But in terms of like, I guess like the timeline of making the song, we did actually start working on this like not too long after we released Simply Idiotic. I think because the idea seemed quite interesting, and I think we just kind of wanted to play around with it, not actually like make it into anything serious just yet, because we still wanted to sort of have a bit of time off from doing this stuff.
Yeah. This one might be one of the songs that took the longest to develop of the releases, because we started working on it in like late June, probably. Started working on it then and kept kind of tinkering with it until the first week of November when we released it.
Yeah, because I think it was kind of difficult to figure out how it was actually going to go, because
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure.
It took a lot of revisions. A song that length is kind of a challenge. There were also it was one of the interesting things for me to kind of go on a tangent was it was a really cool opportunity to have a very long improvised section. There's like a 7-minute synth solo, which I found quite fun to do, because that, I don't know, as a musician player and synth solo enjoyer,
Yeah,
quite a fun
I think
challenge.
with the song like this, I think especially if we were gonna try and do this live, I think
It'd be
it would
very
be.
improvised.
Yeah, I think it's a good song that you can kind of just do whatever you feel like doing. It doesn't really have to follow a
Rules, yeah.
strict thing, I guess, except for like, I guess like the drum pattern or the bass or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as long as there's
Like,
like the foundation of the bass and the drums.
The main rhythm section would, I guess, have to stay the same, but the rest is interchangeable.
Right, yeah. As long as you've got the foundation of the bass and the drums and maybe the synths, then you can kind of do whatever you want. Because there was a while where we were just sort of hitting percussion, wasn't there?
Yeah,
just-
no, that whole thing was a little bit
It was funny.
unorganized, but honestly, I think for the song it works because it's, it's just a little spontaneous. I guess just like
It also provided kind of a unique mixing challenge production challenge, because trying to sort of make 15 minutes of music sound cohesive is kind of different. And this is the first song where we kind of ran into a recurring theme of the releases, where we faced a lot of production challenges.
Yeah, I think because just to touch up on something real quick, with the mixing and the mastering stages, we were trying to do it a little differently to how we did it on Simply Idiotic and the songs before. We were trying this different technique of kind of doing the processes in different in different files, and I think it wasn't really a bad idea, but I think just for the stuff we were making, it wasn't super appropriate. I don't think it really turned out the way we thought it would. So
no, I don't think it was the fact that we did it in a different project, although that maybe confused us. It was the fact that we were trying to make the song louder, because something we'd found was that when our songs were released on Spotify, and sort of music nerd alert, but the Spotify's internal algorithm lowers the volumes on our songs, because I think we'd maxed out the gain on some of them, so it was clipping and causing distortion, and Spotify was detecting that and lowering the volume so it wouldn't break people's speakers.
Yeah, this is basically a whole thing that we just kind of noticed, and it sort of especially got to me because it started annoying me a little bit when I realized that the songs that we had released weren't as loud as the other songs on the platform.
Yeah, and it's annoying.
So I think as the releases went on, we eventually, I guess, figured out how to make it better, and I think that definitely showed good progression terms of
Yeah, and I mean, one of the good things is that we've learnt now kind of how we should do it. Counterintuitive, we actually have to lower the volume on the tracks, so that the output volume is as loud as we want it to, or closer to as loud as we want it to. Because as the releases went on, we kind of reached a good stage at Baseball and at Full of Life, I think.
yeah.
So that was,
But anyway, putting that whole thing aside, back to
The song,
Start
yeah.
Burning. Honestly, looking back at it now, I think I'm not sure if it was. I mean, it's definitely like the most interesting song we've made, and I'm not.
it's
And
one of our most adventurous and exploratory.
though
tracks.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I would really make another song like that ever again. I
Yeah.
think it was fun to do it once. It was cool to try it, but I think it's just really not the kind of song that I feel like doing over and over again. And
No.
I think.
But I think that's the beauty of the project of the November releases. We're doing explorations of stuff that we wouldn't normally put on an album.
Yeah, that's true. I guess with the whole concept of the thing, it made it more. It presented more of an opportunity to do the stuff differently
To
Than-
experiment.
to, I guess, how we would do it normally for like if we were actually trying to make like a more professional
Yeah,
thing.
because you can't fit. I mean, I'm sure people have tried, like Pink Floyd, for example, but you can't fit a 15-minute song cohesively into one of our albums.
Yeah, no, I think for our stuff, not really. I
No.
don't think it really works with stuff. I'm sure it works with other bands, but not.
Speaking of, what are our influences for Star Burning, do you think?
Yes, actually, because you just mentioned Pink Floyd and
Yeah.
that song, "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond." Well,
Yeah.
like the first couple parts of the song, that was an inspiration in terms of like the length, I guess, and also the
ambience.
the structure.
Yeah.
And there were some other songs too, like
I was quite inspired by I think they're Swedish. They might be Norwegian. I'm pretty sure they're Swedish. Ambient duo Carbon Based Lifeforms, who make quite long electronic ambient music that I was quite inspired by.
Yeah,
and I wanted to emulate that kind of stuff.
that was also like a main inspiration for that one.
We were also influenced by what was it, like Digital Vibrations, Jamiroquai?
No, it was Destitute Illusions.
Destitute, yeah, that's
for
right.
that one.
Just because of the repetition and the kind of trance you get into.
If you guys want to like see like our song inspirations, we have them on a Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
So if you just head to our Spotify page, you can see it there listed in the playlist section.
Yeah, that's all of our inspirations.
Yeah,
for all of our songs in chronological order of when they were released.
Yeah.
So if you go to like 6/8 of the way down the page, you should find some songs. That's a really confusing way. Just look, and they're all there.
Yeah, I'm sure the connection can be easily made.
Yeah.
So now, let's move on to the next song now, which was "Wake Up"
Wake up
to what's actually happening in
So-
parentheses.
This is actually an interesting story for where this song came about.
Yeah, because it was mainly Jacob that sort of did most of the. Well, because you found the sample for
So
this song.
this is possibly, I don't know if I would consider it, but this is maybe our oldest song of where it came from, at least from like the musical standpoint for me. So when I first got the school gave us MacBook computers in year 12.
Yeah, that we used to make all of these songs with the GarageBand software.
So at the beginning of year 12, at the very beginning, like in August, before we'd even formed a band, I was messing around on the GarageBand stuff and making like really crappy songs. I didn't even have a lead to connect it to the computer. What I used to do was put a shotgun microphone in the woofer speaker bit of my speakers.
Wow.
And then just record the piano stuff. So it was like really bare bones.
Yeah.
And really kind of sucked. But I was inspired by Daft Punk, so I wanted to sample stuff off the radio. And one day I turned on the radio, and there was this like I don't. We've since tried to find
Yeah,
him. He doesn't exist.
to admit to something, we have tried to find what the sample we actually used was, but we still haven't been able to. And honestly, it's probably just going to remain a mystery, I think. I mean,
Yeah. So I don't know who he is, but he's some sort of like conservative right-wing radio host, and he was talking about American chauvinism and how the Americans needed to wake up to what was actually happening in their country.
I guess that part really stuck out.
Yeah, and like the tragedies of Vietnam. And when I just started, I left a microphone next to the radio, and I just heard it, and I heard the phrase "wake up to what's actually happening," and I thought that's quite cool. So I waited for like 5 minutes to record the whole thing, and then I chopped it up into little sections, and then just made a song under it. Basically, the musically actually we were having a jam session. We were just chilling, and I came up with the sort of chorus riff, which is like
Yeah, like the yeah.
that kind of ostinato, and I liked that. And then the verse, where he's the guy is going off about like you're out of your goddamn minds or something. I can't even remember what he says. I came up with that earlier. But I don't really know what to say about this one. I guess it was kind of cool. Well, the reason I dug it up out of my files, and obviously I remade it so it sounded, a little bit better. But the reason I dug it up out of my files because we were looking for songs for a second album, and we were talking about whether we'd have instrumental songs, and I suggested this one. And I showed it to you, and you're like, that's pretty cool, but I don't think it can go on the album. And so when we came up with this project, I thought maybe this would be good as well.
Yeah, I was thinking just to like follow the theme of what we were doing. This seemed like this seemed like a good song to kind of include on it, and I think it works for what it's trying to do, and I think it's one of the more, I guess, interesting ones. But I think it's also a fun one because it's like
it's silly. It's not serious.
Yeah, it's really sort of I guess exaggerating, poking fun at the whole kind of thing that the guy's talking about. I mean, also just using that sample as well. I think it's a cool thing, and I guess this was like also the first time
we'd ever used a sample. I mean, we've used like samples and loops and stuff, but we haven't used.
Nothing like this.
No, I'm really inspired by a band called Public Service Broadcasting, who are this British band that basically take old radio broadcasts and chop them up the way I did to kind of tell a story under like rock music. It's quite cool. It's much cooler than I'm giving it credit to explaining it like this. But I was really inspired by them and wanted to do something like that. And also, obviously, Daft Punk. I used different samples, but I don't know, I just really liked the process of making this song, and I thought it was, I don't know, quite cool. We wanted to have the first two songs be instrumental, and then the last two songs have vocals on them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do think that was certainly the final kind of intention. I'm not sure if it was totally intentional from the start, but I guess seeing how the order of the songs was going, it just was going to end up like that. So
yeah, I mean, production wise, we did them non-chronologically. We started with
Star
Burning. I hadn't dug up Wake Up yet. I think we then went on to Basefall, and then I dug up Wake Up, and then we rearranged it afterwards. Because I had originally had the idea of maybe we should do it instrumental, vocal, to kind of spread it out. But I think the way we did it was right. Especially with the kind of tension of the songs.
Yeah.
Just because would you say like Star Burning was serious?
I mean, it kind of is. Because it's not like yeah, I guess it is more of just a, sort of dead face song,
Yeah,
straight face.
because the middle two songs are definitely very silly.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of brings us on to Baseball, unless you have anything to...
Yeah, because I don't think there's anything more to say about Wake Up. I think
No,
it's
just a silly song.
more up to how you view it. I think more than how what we're kind of saying about it, really. So yeah, moving on to Bases on Baseball.
This also has a very interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, it is a true story because, literally one day while we were in school and I'm just typing up stuff on my, phone or yeah, it was on my phone because
Yeah.
obviously that's the first lyric. And
we were I mean, yeah, this is kind of silly because you can just listen to the
yeah, if you just listen to the song, it will just tell you what happened basically.
But we were in the common room. I don't know how we got onto this, but we were talking about like the bases in a relationship.
Yeah,
right?
that it just kind of came out of nowhere, really.
I don't
And
know how we got there.
and then relating to that, it just made me think of like the base positions in baseball.
I think what it was that you wanted to like we were talking about the bases in a relationship, and you looked up the bases in a relationship, and then kind of to like clear your conscience, you looked up the bases in baseball.
Yeah, but then as I was typing that, I misspelled
The bases in baseball.
I
The
misspelled
bases
part
on
of
baseball.
misspelled some of the words there, and then I looked at it and I was like, well, that could make for an interesting song.
And then we looked at each other and said nothing for 15 minutes straight, and then we'd written the song.
I mean, literally a while after that, we just started actually like making it, because that's literally just how this can happen sometimes. Like these ideas can come from anywhere.
Yeah, like for example, wait, can we talk about Fire Blanket because it's not going to be released?
Maybe we can talk about it after we finish talking about the music.
All right, we'll talk about it. But like, there's another song that kind of came about like that.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, the whole baseball idea, just sort of happened from just the typo, and then afterwards it really like got me thinking to actually make it a song.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about how to actually make a song like that, and I remembered back to an artist called Jazz Emu that I had listened to before, and he makes, I guess I could call them like kind of silly.
They're kind of comedy songs. He does a lot of the sort of stuff that's kind of telling a story through the lyrics. Like he has one where he is like cooking and he accidentally drops a potato on his phone and it activates the Bluetooth, and he's just like, "Oh wow, did you know that potatoes can use the touch screen on your phone?"
Just kind of doing it like that. And there was a specific song by him. It's called My Bruv.
Yeah, My Brother, which is where he sings a scam email that he gets.
Yeah, so I remembered back to that song. I was thinking, well, if there was a way to kind of make it something like that, which it was like a more slower paced, but a still, I guess, compelling kind of song. And then using some inspiration from that, we went and we kind of just like made the song.
I think it was actually a remarkable experience, both lyrically and musically.
Yeah,
I think you kind of just fountained out the lyrics. They just came to you really quickly.
Yeah, because I was just like kind of retelling what happened with that whole typo and stuff,
Yeah.
and then just like.
But it worked really well. And
also thinking of stuff on my own that wasn't really related to the incident.
No, exactly. And for the chords, we were just kind of playing around, and I think I played one, and you looked at me, and you were like, "That's it," or it was something like that. But I came up with them really quickly. It was like the first one I played.
Yeah, and I also remember like during the recording process of it, I remember because towards the end of the song, there's like the.
Oh yeah, there's like
how
a
do
sort
I
of
call it?
melody sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like the glistening noise that you hear at the end of the song. And so I remember coming up with that, and I thought that was kind of a nice way to have like the send off there.
I was just playing the song, and I think I looked over, and you were just playing that, and we were like, "That's really good." It was a kind of miracle song.
Yeah, I guess
we came up with it.
I guess with the song, the things just sort of happened, and we were happy with what those things were, and then we just sort of threw it all in there and just made the song. And I would say it is probably one of our best in terms of, I guess,
Musically, I really like it. Lyrically, it's great. Production wise, I think it's really clean as well.
yeah, it's like,
Unless you're in an environment with loads of bass, in which case you die. Because I think we comically turned up the bass too high.
no, I think it just works like pretty nicely on all the fronts, and I think that's why it's a really I think
Yeah.
for me it's like the standout for the November releases. I think it is probably my favorite one of the four, just in terms of, I guess, how it's like, yeah, how it just turned out, really. I mean, I do like all of them, of course, but I think this one, with just how it went, like the process and everything,
It probably has one of the best covers as well, I think.
Yeah, I remember I came up with the idea of just having like the baseball with the kiss mark on it, you know, kind of like mixing the relationship bases and the sport together, just to make something that looked, you know, I guess just kind of like a little artsy sort of thing.
Yeah, we had someone draw it for us.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about, you sang it in a silly voice. You sang it in jazzy music.
That's true. I did try to replicate the style of Jazz Emu singing, and I guess I didn't really do it as good as he did, but I did.
Well, no, but it's still, you did it. You did this. It's you doing a silly voice. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, it's just basically my like soft impression of it, and
yeah. And I like the fact that it's still a really cool song, but there's that element of silliness. We're not being serious. It's not a sort of. I like the fact that you don't have to be serious when singing it, because it's just kind of us mucking about.
Yeah.
I like it very much. That one was like almost entirely influenced by Jazzy, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
We sent him an Instagram DM.
That is true.
That was a year ago, and he still hasn't replied.
This was another thing we did because we basically wanted to reach out to him and tell him that we made a song that was inspired by him. We did this. God, it's been such a long time, and I don't think he ever got back to us. I don't think he will ever get back to us because
let me check.
We're nobodies to him. He's a big famous musician, and we don't matter to him, so that's why.
Yeah, so everybody boycott Jazzy. No,
well, I mean, unless if he's watching this.
No, if he's watching this, we love Jazzy, and you are great.
Yeah,
if
man.
If he's not, fuck no, I'm kidding.
All right, I think
Instagram away.
Moving on to
the finals track of the November releases, which is full of life, full of sound, and I think the motif of this project is each of the songs have really interesting stories behind them. This one was kind of atypical in how we write songs.
Yeah, because I remember how it happened was that you basically just had this, I think, like 10-second loop of a drum track and a piano melody thing.
Yeah.
And I was basically just listening to it over and over, trying to figure out what I could write for it.
Yeah. And it took a while.
And,
the writing
you know, after a while, I kind of felt like how the song felt to me was that it had this sort of, you know, outdoorsy, you know, nature vibe to it. Like it was
like a breath of fresh air.
Like it was like something to listen to while you're outside.
Yeah.
And I guess that was like the thing that really boosted me into what I eventually wrote for the song, which was incorporating the whole like nature aspect of being outdoors and that environment with the
saving the environment and stuff.
With like the theme of music, and obviously that's like the two halves of the title, full of life,
full of sound. Yeah.
And the sound of
music. That's actually, I've never actually thought of it like that before. Bridging the gap, bro.
Man. Well, the more you know. Even the guy that made the song didn't know.
Wrote the song, we don't even know what it's about. That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, then eventually we actually, you know, got to doing the proper working on the song and just kind of developing it further. And
we the production wise, chord wise, is reasonably simple. I really like it, but it's quite simple. We wanted to keep it quite simple and quite bare bones for most of the time, I think. At least for the first few sections. We'll get into the later one in a bit.
Yeah.
But we wanted to keep it as simple as possible, so we just kept it like piano, bass, guitar, not guitar.
Yeah,
guitar
because
and
you know, I
drums.
think there's the whole thing about, you know, simple but effective. I think that was something that we were following with this song of just
Yeah.
you know, having kind of a minimal amount of elements, but still making it
Yeah.
like this really.
Having only what's necessary to convey the message. And like overall, I really, really enjoyed how it turned out. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed making it.
and you know, I guess like in the song itself, it kind of just keeps on going until it eventually gets to the whole big final section, which
Yeah.
is like the last 2 minutes, and it's just the ongoing, you know,
Yeah, we wanted it to be like kind of
triumphant.
triumphant because it was the end of this big project that we were working on.
And also, I think for the theme of the song, you know, it's kind of like a whole thing of like unity and like
Yeah.
having everyone coming together. I mean, it was really just us singing it only, but
Yeah.
you know, if you imagine in the sense that like it's all these people coming together
Yeah, there are like
to
15 tracks of you
sing
singing.
you know, the song together, I think it's just a really nice thing to envision it that way. And
Yeah, it feels churchy, I think. It feels anthemic. Everybody's coming together and singing. There are all of these instruments like playing their hearts out basically. We had
Yeah.
a bunch of like a melodica chorus.
it's like bringing so many more elements in than there were earlier.
Yeah, we wanted it to be there's a huge build up to it as well. There's a huge
with
it
like,
dips down and then it goes back up again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud of that section. I think that of all the people who I've shown all of our stuff to, so like they've listened to everything we've done, that is the resounding favorite I've found. Everybody really likes that song.
Yeah, I guess that's because, you know, the theme of unity, and maybe that's why people like it, because they feel like it's something that they can also like be a part of.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess with the song having like that relatability to it, maybe that's also another thing. I think for me, you know, I do in my personal opinion, I do really like the last section, but for me the part that I think I really like the most in the song is like that little instrumental bit in the middle where
Really?
you know, because I don't know, to me like it's just such a nice kind of section. I mean, because I stop singing and then everything just kind of cuts out except the piano, and then all the stuff kind of comes back in.
Yeah, it's just.
And
it's
to
a
me,
really
it
chill
feels
section.
like a really, you know, connective part, and I feel like to me that's the part that holds the song together.
Yeah, I think it's a really if I had to describe the song in a single word, I'd say like refreshing, maybe.
Yeah, no, I
It's
guess that word could work definitely to describe it.
America is a country that can be described in a single word. No,
No, we don't get Joe Biden to describe our songs. He wouldn't.
no, Pacific and the foothills of the Himalayas. No, but the reason I say that is because the production on Star Burning was like to the max, everything. Same with I actually wouldn't say that about Baseball, but
No.
I just think that it's I don't know, it's very hopeful. It feels very hopeful. It feels very happy, and I think in a world that is quite miserable, I like songs like that are just quite happy and hopeful and cheerful.
Yeah, I think with having songs like that, it's great because they kind of just remind you. They give you that like feeling and that energy boost.
It's hopeful.
Yeah, it's optimistic, and
Yeah.
you know, I think that it's in terms of the releases, it's the appropriate thing to put at the end.
Yeah, and I think it sort of capped it off.
Um,
Honestly, I don't really have any major influences for it. It really just came from here. Audio listeners.
Well, I mean,
there are only audio listeners, but
there's
I'm pointing very
the
hard.
one song on the inspirations playlist I remember that you said was an inspiration. For
Yeah,
it. I don't remember what it's called.
I'll look it up quickly. It's a song by For Hero.
Honestly, I didn't know them at all, and I wasn't didn't really know the song.
But yeah, it's a hang on a minute, let me have a look. Songs. Here it is. Less Fleur by Four Hero. It shares the same chord progression more or less as the chorus, and I just found it was so inspiring and uplifting that I wanted to use it. I'm not plagiarizing the song. Oh dear.
No, yeah, we definitely don't try to plagiarize any music we know already. It's just more about like just being inspired by the stuff, but not trying to make. Because this is also something that I feel like, because I for all the music that I listen to, I always think about how I want to make a song that is just like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to realize that
you can't make a song just like that.
No, and I think it's also important to have some distinction to
Yeah.
stand out on your own terms, rather than just being compared to some other kind of artist that's already
And
there.
I think the important thing is that we make our music, not we make this music. We make the music that we want to. And I think we really did that for the releases. I've just had a thought, actually, that is quite interesting. I think in the releases we explored really the extremes of what a song can be, right? What music
Yeah,
can be.
sort of, I guess, pushing the boundaries
Yeah.
a little bit.
It can
I mean,
be...
not too much. We didn't
No,
just
obviously.
fully lose control, but
No.
I think compared to the stuff we had done before that on the album, it's definitely much different.
Yeah, it's taking the band for a spin before we go on to the next stuff. We showed that music can be sort of like rolling and ambient and formless. We showed that it could be, I don't know, like could use samples and could be electronic. We showed it could be funny while still being cool, and we showed it could be simple and uplifting. I think.
And
Obviously,
that's
not all music can be, but like.
I think ultimately that's the whole thing, because it's something that I think can easily sort of be forgotten, is that music is such a free art form, and it's, you can really do whatever you want with it. But I feel like I think sometimes we kind of lose sight of that a little bit, and we stick too much to a certain formula,
To rules.
Try not to defer too far away from it. And I mean, it's not necessarily bad to do it, but I think sometimes it's interesting to
see what we can
explore different areas that we're not familiar with. And honestly, just doing that, I think, shows greater results, because I think it shows that we are able to kind of take risks like that, and not play things too safe. And I mean, we've never really tried to play things super safe, I don't think. Even with the songs that we made on Simply Idiotic, they definitely have some uniqueness to them.
No, definitely. And when I said that they were all sort of like verse chorus structures, I mean, Flaming Heart isn't really, Century isn't super. They're not. There is, I think.
I mean, even with some of the stuff there, I think we did things that people wouldn't really expect for there to be on songs.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's all been kind of different since the beginning.
Yeah. No, I think we were always trying to push boundaries and try and chase what's new and things that people haven't really done before, or at least things that are interesting. I don't know. In our Spotify bio, we're saying, it says that we're bringing a new sound to what we consider to be a stale musical landscape. I'm not sure that's completely true. I think my opinion's changed. I don't think it's completely a stale musical
landscape. I
landscape.
think that's another thing to note. And I know we'll get back onto topic. I know we've sort of been going a bit far from what we were.
Tangent, yeah.
But I think with our, what we do, we don't really have like one genre we follow.
Yeah.
We do a lot of different things, and I guess in that sense you can't really prescribe like a single genre of music to us, because we're just like...
No, exactly. And I can say the same thing about a lot of bands. Like, we're not an acid jazz band, we're not an electronic band, we're not a folk band.
No, we just use different styles, and we're just a band. All right, we don't need music. We don't need to have one genre assigned to us, or else that feels too, belittling.
I saw a thing where Jacob Collier said that like the age of genre is dead. That there used to, like in the olden days, there used to be rock bands and pop bands and folk bands.
Yeah, it was more, sort of
clear cut and defined, right? But these days, I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because of the like popularity of streaming services and the ability to listen to more music. But like most of the musicians I listen to, it's not just single genre. They do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
they
I
make
think
their music.
it's always good for musicians to try a bunch of new things to really show their musical capability to the fullest.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, you could have someone that sticks to one style for their entire career, but then I feel like after a while it might get kind of, repetitive, and they might want to try something different just to see if they are able to do that.
Yeah, and it's not like if you're being true to yourself and making your music, it will eventually it will shift genre. Your music will not stay in a single genre because taste changes and what you're inspired by changes and what you want to make changes. You don't want to make, well, maybe you do because it makes a shit ton of money, but you don't want to make 4-chord pop songs forever unless you're
Yeah, no, unless they pull in a lot of money and radio play.
yeah.
I guess that's.
Maybe we should do that actually. Sorry guys,
No,
I was
honestly,
wrong.
In my opinion, I'd rather just stick to do what I want instead of doing what I think is gonna actually, work. Because I feel like, to me, I just see more value in doing the stuff that I want to do rather than what I think is actually going to stick the landing.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why it's art.
Anyway,
anyway, back on topic.
Putting that interesting conversation aside, we could do a whole nother episode for that, really.
And we should.
But overall, I'd say for the November releases, I am proud of what we did with that. I'm happy that we did that. I think it was really nice to do that for, the first year anniversary, just to, I guess, celebrate it, and also just to offer new things, to make new things.
And have the opportunity to try new things and just keep making music. Because... Okay.
Ignore that, people.
What the hell was that?
That was the chair.
The cowling of Eren's chair fell off. I'm having a stroke. No, this year was a very busy year. We had exams and loads of stuff to do, and we were...
Yeah, honestly, just speaking in full, like, compared to last year, we haven't really had much time to do this as we would have liked, just because, this was the final year of high school for us. It was busy, exams, all that.
I didn't want to wait a full year before we got to start making stuff again. We love making music. That's the thing we want to do. That's the reason why we make music, just because we love doing it. And I didn't want to wait for ages just to be able to do it again.
Yeah, and that's actually
segue. Whoa, yeah, no.
Crazy transition.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
crazy.
So I guess to address something big here at the end, I know you've probably been waiting
addressing the allegations.
The whole time. No allegations, man. Yeah. It's just that some of you might have been wondering, where's the new music?
Yeah, where the new album?
Because we haven't.
And literally everyone's been asking.
We have not released anything this year, and everyone. Well, okay, no, I might be exaggerating a bit, but some of you probably are wondering where it is, and I'm here to tell you today that
it's not coming.
Listen,
no, I'm kidding.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah. No, we're here to tell you today that
we are currently working on a new project, a new music project.
We can't really tell you anything about it. We can't tell you how long it's going to be or when it's going to come out.
We want to keep it secretive. We want to keep it under wraps. We want you guys to know that it is happening. We are working on something, so don't worry. We didn't quit off screen.
Yeah,
we didn't have any problems go on. Yeah. But we are currently working on something, and it is a big project. It is the biggest thing we have ever done.
We want it to be, if we're being fully real, let me be real with you. No, if we're being honest, it's probably going to be the last thing we're going to do for a while. Because we're heading off to college next year, and we don't think that it'll be feasible to work on stuff.
Yeah, I guess to sort of expand on that a little more, because we are Yes, we are going to go off to college in quite different places, I'd say.
Across the Atlantic Ocean,
Um,
different places.
So, yeah, it would be really hard to try and do this under those conditions.
We can't rule out working on stuff, but the last definite thing we're going to do is going to be this project that's going to come out probably later this year.
Yeah, we're gonna spend like most of the time over the summer doing it, and then I guess towards the end of the summer season, that's when we think it's going to be ready to be released.
Well, yeah, because we'll be heading off to college in September.
Yeah,
and you at middle of August.
There wouldn't really be a lot of time,
So,
any time really.
Yeah, no. So basically, now in July, and then the first bit of August is probably going to be when we are working on stuff, and hopefully we can get it all done. Well, I want to release something if we're not able to complete the entire thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We'll definitely release something. Hopefully it's going to be as big as what we're imagining, or as big as what we're planning to do. Maybe we'll have to streamline it, but we'll see. We want it to be big. We want that we've already got a couple songs in the works, and the songs we're doing are the biggest and most imaginative things we've done so far. They're very expansive projects.
Yeah, these are definitely the most in-depth kind of stuff we've done.
Yeah.
So, this is really fitting for, I guess, the end. I mean, the indefinite end.
The indefinite, yeah.
It's not like we're gonna,
We're not breaking up.
No, but I guess we're just gonna have to cease operations for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
I guess until after college, maybe when we can eventually reunite and do this again. But yeah, we just wanted
to let you guys know.
Yeah, we are
putting out new stuff. Because whenever we were in school and we passed certain people, they'd be like, "When's the new music coming out, bro?" And I was like, "Please shut up."
Yeah, I mean, we understand that you guys have been waiting, but we do want to do our best to.
But we don't care. No, I'm kidding.
Deliver. So yeah, just saying that, and I guess
stay tuned.
That is also where we're gonna end this now, because this has been going on for a while, longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, it's about as long as the...
No, honestly, this might be longer than the one we made about the album.
The entire album?
Like, it's crazy. I mean, maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe we prepared for this one better. I guess with the album one, we kind of stumbled in places and didn't really know what to say.
Maybe. I don't know. That was our first event.
I mean, both this one and the one we did before are both unscripted. We're just freestyling it.
Yeah,
so,
we're just chilling, man. We had thought maybe we should do a video, but no.
Nah, man, I don't want to show my face on the screen. Yeah, I guess we're gonna end it now before this drags on any longer. So, thanks for watching this. If you only tuned in for the last part and didn't care about the November stuff, then that's also fine.
Fuck you. No. Go and listen to it. We need the money.
No,
we don't. This makes
we don't do it for the money.
0.06 pennies of
revenue. The thing is, Spotify screwed us over, because apparently now a song needs to have at least 1,000 plays for it to be monetized, and none of our songs have 1,000 plays on it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I told you this.
Yeah. Oh no.
Alright, guys. So please go binge listen our song so we can get paid.
Listen, put the volume down to 0 and put it on repeat while you're asleep, so that we get
easy.
Yeah, so you have to do that on interlude, actually. So you get millions of plays.
Because only 40 seconds.
Yeah, so every single song has like 3 plays, and then interlude has 50,000. That's going to be the real money-making machine.
Dude, I knew interlude was going to be the most successful song.
No, exactly,
I knew it in my heart.
Yeah. Wait, hang on a minute. Just a quick aside. Does that scale with the length of the song? Could you make like a 1-second song and then just loop it forever?
No, I think there's a certain amount of time you have to listen to a song for it to count as a play.
Oh.
It has to be like 30 seconds at least, I think.
Oh, right. Okay, so could you make a 30-second song, and then every minute it gets 2, so you just need to listen to it for 500 minutes?
Maybe.
Guys, I know we said the next thing is going to be this album, but we're going to drop a 30-second song in the middle, and I need you to listen to it.
Ah, well. Yeah, no, you don't actually have to do that, though. I don't really care.
Well, no.
So yeah, we are actually going to end this now before we reach the 1 hour mark.
No, come on. We could just speak for like 5
No,
minutes.
we're not going for an hour.
Bro.
I'm tired and I need to do stuff. I need to get out of this chair and move around.
Drink some water, please.
I've been doing that. I don't know if you've heard, guys, but we've actually had glasses of water with us because it is really hot.
It's 90 degrees outside.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys listening.
Probably going to do this again when we drop the final project.
Yeah.
So yeah, be there for that, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day or evening or whatever time you're listening.
You degenerates listening at 3 a.m.
Whatever
are you doing?
Time zone you're in, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.